Hold this for me, my sister. I'm coming. I just want to buy pure water. Before Ngozi could even blink or find her voice to say no, a heavy, warm bundle was shoved into her arms. The woman, wearing a faded hair tie and a look of pure panic, jumped out of the moving yellow Danfo bus with the agility of a trackster. The bus driver, who had been swearing at a tricycle rider since they left CMS, didn't even tap his brakes. He slammed the gear, the exhaust pipe let out a thick cloud of black smoke, and the bus roared away into the Lagos traffic. Ngozi sat there, frozen. She looked down at the bundle. A pair of large, curious eyes stared back at her. The baby was surprisingly quiet, sucking on a tiny thumb, as if he had been through this routine before. 5 minutes passed, then 10. The bus reached the final stop at Oshodi under the bridge. The conductor began his usual ritual of banging the roof of the bus with his ring, screaming, "Last stop!" Ngozi didn't move. She looked out the window, hoping to see the woman running behind the bus, panting and waving her hands. But there was only the chaos of the market, the smell of roasted plantain, and the heat of 1,000 bodies moving at once. "Auntie, why you still sit down like you be VIP?" The conductor barked, wiping sweat from his neck with a dirty rag. "Abeg, calm down. I won't load for Mushi." "The woman, the mother of this child," Ngozi stammered, her voice thin. "She hasn't come back." The conductor stopped. He looked at the baby, then at Ngozi, then at the empty seat. He let out a loud, dry laugh that sounded like a generator feeling. "Ajebe, my sister, you have been carried. That woman is not coming back. She has dropped for you. Congratulations on your newborn baby." Ngozi felt the world spinning. She was a simple seamstress living in a face me, I face you compound in Ajegunle. She struggled to buy a yard of lining, let alone a tin of baby milk. She climbed out of the bus, her legs feeling like jelly, clutching the child as if he were a ticking bomb. When she finally reached her compound, the air was filled with the smell of Mama Tunde's burnt jollof rice and the sound of a loud radio. In a Nigerian yard, there is no such thing as a secret. Within 2 minutes of Ngozi entering the gate, the neighborhood news network led by Mama Chinedu had already gathered. "Ewo, Ngozi, which one be this?" Mama Chinedu shouted, clapping her hands against her thighs. "Since when did you go for 9 months journey? You left here this morning with a flat stomach and came back with a 3-month-old soldier. Is this the new fashion in town?" Ngozi collapsed onto a wooden stool, tears finally spilling over. She told them the story, the boss, the pure water lie, and the disappearance. "Call the police, oh," Baba Segun shouted from the balcony, leaning over with his wrapper tied loosely around his waist. "If you keep that child, they will say you are a kidnapper. In this Nigeria, if you see a free thing, run. Even if it is a baby, run." The crowd erupted in arguments. Some said the baby was jazz or a spiritual trap. Others said the mother was probably a runs girl who couldn't handle the heat. But as the shouting grew louder, the baby did something unexpected. He didn't cry. He reached out his tiny, chubby hand and grabbed the edge of Ngozi's dress, pulling it toward his face. He let out a small, bubbly giggle, completely unaware that he was the center of a neighborhood scandal. Something in the atmosphere shifted. The fear of juju and police trouble began to melt under the heat of the baby's innocence. Ngozi took him inside her small room to change his diaper. As she unwrapped the shawl, a squeezed, oily piece of paper fell out. Her hands shook as she smoothed it. The note was written in blue ink that had blood from what looked like tear stains. It read, "To the person with the kind face, please, I have not eaten in 3 days. I have no milk in my breast and no roof over my head. I can't watch him die. His name is Samuel. Please, let him live, even if I have to die in shame. God will bless you." The room went silent. The neighbors who were peeping through the door and window lowered their heads. The wickedness they suspected was actually a mother's ultimate sacrifice. "I cannot give him to the motherless home," Ngozi said firmly, her voice no longer shaking. "Ngozi, you are joking," Mama Tinedu exclaimed, though her voice was softer. You don't even have a sewing machine of your own. How will you buy lactogen? Do you know the price of diapers now? Ngozi looked at Samuel. The mother didn't drop him in a gutter. She didn't leave him at a shrine. She looked for a face that looked kind, and she chose me. If God brought him to my lap in a Danfo bus, God will provide the milk. Then the miracle of the Nigerian spirit happened. It started with Yabose, who went to her room and brought out a half-used bottle of baby oil. Then Mama Chinedu, the loudest critic, walked in with a small bowl of pap and a tin of pig milk. Even Baba Segun sent down a 2,000 naira note, grumbling that it was for the boys' school fees in 10 years. Ngozi realized then that Samuel wasn't a burden. He was a messenger. In a compound where people usually fought over the shared bathroom and electricity bills, a tiny, abandoned child had turned them into a family.